What's up everybody? It's the Tourette Trucker. Come at you today. It's Sunday. I'm sitting up here in Cleveland, Tennessee waiting to load. I load tonight at 11. So I went ahead and came here earlier today and waited on him to come in, take me a little break. Had to run through the night. But we're going to talk about murder, black murder they say, between cops just mowing down, killing black folks. Today I'm going to offend a lot of people. I can assure you I will make some mad. And to prove my point, I'm wearing my shirt right here. This is Pride Month, and look at my shirt. Nobody freaking cares. There's your rainbow. Here's my nobody freaking cares about your Pride Month. I'm just spilling it all out. We're just going to tick a lot of people off. Y'all are killing the trucking industry and everything else, all these stupid things that's going on. Well, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. I'll be right back.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh.
Get into this. After watching the video on this Rayshard, whatever, killing in Atlanta, as some of you know, I live right here in the Atlanta area. I saw the news that night. I heard something popped up in our feed overnight. We happened to be up till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and we saw something pop up. We're like, what the heck is this? And the next morning we saw it all blow up out of proportion. Saw the family in, what, 12 hours already had an attorney to go after the city of Atlanta and this and that and demanding justice. Well, y'all are actually causing and perpetuating this cycle. A lot of us, we actually saw this and were like, yeah, that looks pretty bad, you know. From the video it showed from the pedestrian's point of view on Saturday. No police video, body cam video to come out yet. The Wendy surveillance camera video hasn't come out yet, but they're already out there wanting to riot, demand justice, wanting to loot and everything. I want to be stupid. And then later on that night, what they do, they went and burnt the Wendy's down. What did Wendy's do to this guy? Did Wendy's go out there and pull a trigger and shoot this guy? No, Wendy's did not. Why are you burning your own community down? It's stupid. It makes no sense. Y'all are arguing about all this. We need to defund the police. We need to dismantle police. Well, I'm here to tell you, if y'all know anything about truckers, if y'all aren't truckers and you're watching this, you might want to go look on some trucking feeds and some trucking boards. Truckers are flat out saying, if you just start disbanding police, we won't deliver goods in the area. You're seeing people want to pull trucks out. They block interstates, which is illegal. That is against federal law to block an interstate. Truckers are engaged in interstate commerce. We are not allowed to be stopped like that. Stopped on a highway. Especially to be stopped so you can go out there and show your butt. Just so you can say, well, I got a freedom of expression. You do, but not on an interstate highway. Not when you're blocking other motors. No, you don't have that freedom. You don't have that right. So people are out there shooting, looting, and creeping, acting a fool. Here we go again. Another black being mowed down by a cop. That's not what happened at all. I'm going to make you mad. I'm going to say it point blank. if you would quit committing crimes, black people would not get shot. I'm not a racist. By no means am I a racist. People who know me know I'm not a racist. But you say, well, black people are disproportionately shot. No. Statistics actually show more white people, unarmed white people, are actually shot and killed than black people. That is a proven fact according to FBI statistics. Well, they don't report that. We don't believe that. Really? So I suppose you believe Obama was God too and walked on water? Point is, it doesn't matter if you're white, if you're black, if you're Asian, if you're Hispanic, if you're freaking Italian, if you're Russian. If you break the law and you get stopped by a cop, comply. That's all you have to do. If you don't want to get shot, don't want to get killed, comply. When the officer pulls you over and says, hey, look, do you know the reason why I pulled you? If you really are that dumb and don't understand why, I'd say, no, sir, I don't. Could you please let me know? He'll be glad to tell you. Once you give them a valid reason to pull you, you are legally required to show your ID as long as they identify why they pulled you. Now, if they're just pulling you, just trying to say, well, I pulled you because you're black, that's not good enough. No cop has a right to say, I pulled you because you're black, give me your ID. You don't have to show them squat. I wouldn't show them squat if they just pulled me and said, well, I ain't really got a reason. I just want to see your ID. I just want to know who you are. No, they do not have a reason to do that. But if they identify a reason of why you were pulled, you must identify who you are and show ID. They gave Rayshard, I think that's his name, a field sobriety test. He failed the test. He was drunk. He was passed out in his car in a Wendy's drive-thru. Failed a field sobriety test. Okay, so what'd he do? They tried to arrest him. He resisted arrest. He pulled away from officers. He fought officers. He punched an officer in the face, grabbed an officer's taser, and then ran. Okay, if you look at the home footage that somebody shot, all you see is that he's running away and you hear gunshots. So, of course, everyone's like, oh my gosh, he just shot and killed that guy in the back. That was just, why did he shoot the guy? The guy was running away. He shot and killed him. He murdered him in cold blood. That is not what happened. Wendy's surveillance video, this is probably why they burnt the Wendy's down, because Wendy's proved that the officer was actually a justified shooting. And in my opinion, the officer was justified. Wendy's provided video from their cameras on the store that showed, yes, after he broke free from the officer, which the home video shows, yes, he did grab the officer's taser, which shoots out. It's not a taser where you have to stick them, actually touch them and go, ugh. No, it has the prongs. You shoot the prongs, they fire out, they incapacitate you. Once he grabbed that from the officer and ran, the cell phone footage cuts out. What it does not show you that the Wendy's camera footage shows you is that he turned around, pointed the taser at the officer. Once you point a weapon at an officer, that officer has a right to defend himself for his safety and for the public's safety. Not just his, but the public's safety. The attorney for the family is arguing, well, cops can't have it both ways. You can't say, well, you're out there, tasing these people, and then the cops want to say, well, that's non-lethal. But then you can't say, well, we felt fear for our life because he had the taser, which you said the taser is non-lethal. You're right, the taser is non-lethal. But when you, as a citizen, take a taser off of an officer, point it to fire at him, you can incapacitate that officer, go back while he's incapacitated, take his gun and kill him, if not kill anybody else. He had already proven he wasn't going to comply, already resisted arrest, already punched an officer in the face, already grabbed an officer's weapon. A taser is considered a non-lethal weapon that they used. Already grabbed that. So now, with all this added up, What's to make that officer think that with him turning around and pointing at him and getting ready to fire at the officer, that he wouldn't incapacitate him, go back, grab his gun, and then shoot and kill the officer? The officer, in my opinion, had every right to shoot this person. All you people are up in arms, another shooting, this guy needs to go down. They fired him immediately, which is wrong in my opinion. They didn't even wait for evidence. You can't go off an edited body cam footage or off edited somebody's cell phone camera footage. You need all the facts. Y'all got police so scared to do their job. Look what's happened in Seattle. Is this what we want to happen all over the United States? If this is how y'all going to be, truckers aren't going to deliver any goods to these areas if this is how you are. If you're going to want to make the cops scared to do their job because they're afraid of being fired, afraid of going to prison for defending their life. I mean, you've got cops all over the country that are threatening to resign because they feel it's a lose-lose situation no matter what they do. They're out there getting pummeled by rocks, bottles, bricks, everything else. You've had over 200 people, 200 police officers, over 200 police officers injured during all these riots. But yet, that's okay. I'm sorry. Basic principle tells you 2 wrongs don't make a right. That's what the courts are for. George Floyd was murdered, and in my opinion, yes, that was a wrongful death. Yes, the officer should face charges. But he was fired the next day. He was arrested the same week. Y'all haven't even given anything time before you're already destroying this nation. And for what? What makes George Floyd's life any more valuable than anybody else's? Why did he get all this televised funeral, gold caskets, this and that? So now you're going to have one for the guy in Atlanta? Are you going to do the same thing for him? I mean, he was shot by a cop. What about the white people who's been killed by cops? What about the poor guy who was off his meds? Timmy Tempa or something, I believe his name. What about him? He was killed by cops. Cops were joking about it. Hey man, it's time to go to school. Until the medics got there and said, this guy's dead. He was a white guy, but where was the outrage when the cops killed him? Where's the justice for that? I mean, you know, this is absolutely ridiculous. It's insane. People are carrying this too far. This was not a murder. This was not just a cop mowing an innocent guy down. He was drunk, passed out in a car, blocking the Wendy's drive-thru, impeding their business because now cars have to go around him because he's in their line, so he's interfering with their business, not just his own. It's not like he just left the bar, walked out to his car, and passed out in his car. In order to get to the Wendy's, he had already had to be drunk to get to the Wendy's. So he'd already driven drunk already. DUI. Resisting arrest. You know, failed to comply. I mean, it just adds up and adds up and adds up. Just to break it down simple, people keep saying, you're just killing us black people. Stop breaking the law. White people break the law too. White people are dying at the hands of cops too. But you can call me a racist if you want. I don't care. I'm not. I'm just going to break it to you in simple facts. I guess a lot of the white people aren't resisting. Yes, there are some that resist. There are some that act a damn fool. I know some white people who have acted a fool. But the average white person has enough common sense when they are being arrested. Don't resist. Don't go for an officer's weapon because you will be shot. I don't understand why y'all are up in arms because these people fail to listen to an officer's instructions. If he asks you for your ID, give him his ID. If he asks you to step out of the car, step out of the car. If he asks to pat you down, let him pat you down. If he says, okay, I'm going to have to take you in, go in. Fight it in court. That's what the judge is for. That's what a jury's for. If you think the cop was wrong, have your day in court. Then file for wrongful arrest. But you don't have to fight the cop and grab a weapon and then get mad because you got shot or injured. What did you think was going to happen? Do you think you're going to grab an officer's weapon to resist, punch an officer in the face? He's going like, oh, it's okay. I love you, man. I love you, man. Hold on. I'm glad you beat me in my face. I'm glad you were going to tase me with my own weapon. But hey, go ahead. Run along free. It's okay. Go ahead. It's all good. We'll just look for you another day. That's not what the police are for. People, please wake up. Please wake up. Stop the madness, stop the looting, stop the frighting. Because if you keep wanting to make these dumb autonomous zones, you're not going to get your goods. Truck drivers are going to stop going to these cities because we shouldn't have to put our life on the line. We didn't do anything. We didn't pull a gun on anybody. We didn't riot. We didn't shoot anybody. I personally have never owned a slave. I've never bought a person. I've bought a kitty cat, but I've never bought a slave. Never owned a slave. Wife's never owned a slave. My brother's never owned a slave. My mother's never owned a slave. I don't owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody anything. So what gives y'all the right to think y'all can stop innocent people from going about their work, going to jobs, traveling down the interstate, dragging them out of their vehicles and beating them just because, like me, I'm white? How many stories have you heard where these riders have pulled white people out of their vehicles and beat them? This is justice for George Floyd. What'd that white person do? They were just happened to be in town that day. You beat an elderly couple up in Maryland at a war memorial cemetery. 80-year-old couple, what'd they do? Nothing. The guy was heard. Justice for George Floyd. Stop the madness, y'all. Quit taking the sides of criminals. Wait for all the facts to come out. Let the facts come out, and then you decide. Go search for the video, and you will see a video of Wendy's surveillance, and you will clearly see he took the taser, turned around, and aimed it at the officer. He could have easily incapacitated that officer and taken that officer's gun and shot and killed the officer. No officer should be subjected to that. Under no means, no matter what. Police should not be subjected to a guy taking his own weapon, use it against him, and with a chance of potential of grabbing another weapon and killing and taking his life. People, please wake up. This country is not by far a racist cop. There are a few bad apples in every job. You can look at any job. You can look at Amazon. There's bad. I'm sure it's your workplace. There's people there who are bad and don't do right. You can go to a gas station. There's jerks that work in a convenience store. There's jerks that work at a carpet store. There's jerks that work at Walmart. There's jerks that work at Target. There's jerks and bad people that work at every single job and profession in this world. But I'll say there's even bad preachers. There's even false preachers out there. You have bad in every occupation, every line of work. You shouldn't condemn every single cop for the actions of a few. That's all I'm going to say. Not all white people are prejudiced, because a few are. I know black people who are prejudiced. I know some black people, our neighbors across the street. We love them to death. We consider them family. They consider me and my wife family. We do all kinds of things. They are great. I'm not prejudiced at all. I'm just going to keep it 100 like Brandon Tatum says. I'm going to keep it 100. I'm going to keep it real. This is the fact. If you stop committing crimes, stop resisting arrest, you have a 99.9% chance of not getting shot. Comply. Comply with the officers. That's all you have to do, y'all. I'm going to call it quits on this, and I'm sure I've offended a lot of people, ticked off a lot of people, if anybody stayed for the whole video. But anyway, love y'all. Y'all take care. Stay coronavirus free. Peace out. We'll holler at you later.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this. You can't touch this.